Welcome to another edition of Red Watch TV. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of music, politics, and the intertwining forces that shape public sentiment in Russia. Our focus is on the controversial figures that are shaping the cultural narrative to serve the interests of the Kremlin. Join us as we explore the machinations behind the scenes and reveal how music has become a strategic tool to foster unwavering support for Vladimir Putin and justify the ongoing war in Ukraine. We begin our report with one of the best-known names in Russian music. Yaroslav Y. Dronov, widely known by his stage name Sharman, has seen his star rise rapidly within the Russian pop music scene. His rapid ascent can be largely attributed to the nationalistic and patriotic themes that he frequently embraces in his music, themes that have found favor with the Kremlin during Russia's ongoing conflict with Ukraine. Sharman's music is distinctive in its alignment with the Kremlin's policies and sentiments, transforming him into a significant cultural figure in Vladimir Putin's Russia. He employs his musical platform to echo and amplify Moscow's party line, an act that has earned him a unique and influential fan base, one that extends beyond the everyday citizens to include the Kremlin itself. On several key occasions, Sharman has shared the stage with Putin, performing during events that marked important milestones in Russia's recent history. Notably, during a patriotic rally hosted by Putin to coincide with the anniversary of the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, Sharman performed Vstanem, or Let's Rise, a ballad dedicated to the country's soldiers. His performance was strategically scheduled just before Putin's speech, underscoring the close ties between the pop star and the Kremlin. Sharman also took the stage with Putin to celebrate Russia's annexation of 4 Ukrainian regions, an act that garnered international attention. Sharman's music doesn't shy away from patriotic and nationalistic themes. Another song, Ya Ruski, I Am Russian, appeals to national unity against what Putin refers to as the collective West. The song's lyrics resonate with the Kremlin's narrative, clearly underscoring the alignment of Sharman's music with the government's message. The singer represents a wider trend of artists in Russia who, amid escalating political pressure, have opted to align their work with the Kremlin's militaristic worldview. Some have made this choice for pragmatic reasons, others in the pursuit of wealth, and some because of their personal convictions. Sharman's decision to align his art with Putin's message has proved financially rewarding. He enjoys regular appearances on national television and is frequently invited to government-sponsored shows. He has also been included on a list of artists recommended to perform at official New Year's celebrations. However, not everyone in Russia approves of Sharman's association with the Kremlin. Vladimir Kiselyov, the head of the Russian media group, has publicly questioned Sharman's patriotism for not performing in occupied Ukraine. In response to this criticism, Sharman has made a point of performing for Russian soldiers in the occupied Ukrainian cities of Mariupol and Lugansk. Sharman's rise from a music student and participant in reality TV shows, such as Russian versions of X Factor and The Voice, to a celebrated pop star is noteworthy. His music not only reflects a clear alignment with the Kremlin's messaging, but it also represents a broader attempt to shape Russian pop culture in a more nationalistic light. His songs, such as Vstanem and Ya Ruski, have become anthems of sorts, often used in the government's strategic communication efforts. Another star of Russian popular culture that has found favor from the Kremlin is Timur Ildarovich Yunusov, widely known as Timur T. Timur T has garnered significant attention for his explicit support of the Kremlin and its policies. One of the defining aspects of Timur T's career is his unwavering support for Russian President Vladimir Putin. He has actively participated in political videos endorsing Putin during the 2012 and 2018 Russian presidential elections. In his music, Timur T has frequently expressed his admiration for Putin, referring to him as his best friend in one of his songs.
Мой лучший друг — это президент Путин. Мой лучший друг — это президент Путин. Мой лучший друг — это президент Путин.
In 2019, Timur T released a music video titled Moscow on the eve of the city council elections. The video, which was subsequently removed from YouTube due to an overwhelmingly negative response, showcased staunch pro-government sentiments. Timati praised Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin, known for his close ties to Putin, and celebrated the city's ban on gay pride parades. The video received an unprecedented 1.5 million dislikes, making it one of the most detested videos in Russian YouTube history. Timati's vocal support for the Kremlin has raised questions about the role of Russian rap as a platform for social commentary and protest.
Знаете, ни в один из моментов моей жизни мне не было стыдно, что я гражданин России. Я считаю, что должно быть стыдно тем, кто находится в других странах и этого стыдится. Я родился в этой стране, я люблю ее всем сердцем и искренне считаю, что у нас лучшая в мире страна. Кто бы что ни говорил.
While Russian rap initially emerged as a voice of dissent, representing the struggles and frustrations of the younger generation, Timati's music exemplifies a shift towards a divided and often money-focused society. His lyrics and public statements primarily reflect his loyalty to the government, rather than addressing social issues or challenging the status quo. However, Timati's alignment with the Kremlin has not come without its fair share of criticism and controversy. His song, Moscow, drew ire from pro-democracy protesters due to its dismissive tone towards dissent and protests. The lyrics flaunted a disregard for social activism and suggested that individuals should focus on personal growth rather than engaging in political resistance. The negative response to the video and subsequent removal from YouTube underscored the division between those who support the government and those who oppose it. In response to rumors that he had fled Russia for Uzbekistan amid partial mobilization in the country, Timati took to Instagram to deny the reports. He affirmed his presence in Moscow and stated that he had no intention of leaving. While he acknowledged the situation and the potential for a summons, he expressed a willingness to engage in projects within the country, emphasizing the demand for Russian products and his commitment to raising the country's GDP. Russian rock band Luber, known for its patriotic and military-themed songs, has gained significant support from Vladimir Putin over the years. Led by Nikolai Rastogoyev, Luber has garnered attention for their music, which resonates with themes of national pride and love for the motherland. In recognition of their contributions, the band has received accolades and enjoyed a close relationship with the Kremlin. Nikolai Rastogoyev, the lead singer of Luber and a staunch Kremlin supporter, has been appointed to a seat in the Russian parliament, according to the country's Central Elections Commission. The commission announced that Rastogoyev would fill the vacancy left by a departing Duma deputy. This move further solidifies the band's connection to the political landscape of Russia. Rastogoyev's close ties to Putin have been well documented. Putin, a self-proclaimed fan of Luber, has expressed admiration for their patriotic rock songs. In 2007, Rastogoyev was honored with a state award for services to the fatherland by Putin himself. Furthermore, during Putin's presidency, Rastogoyev served on a Kremlin Arts Council, further highlighting their relationship. While Rastogoyev had previously run as a candidate from Putin's United Russia Party in the 2007 legislative elections, he fell short of securing a seat in the Duma. However, the Central Elections Commission, responding to a request from United Russia, has now granted Rastogoyev a place in the parliament, capitalizing on his popularity and influence. The Russian parliament, commonly seen as a body that aligns with the Kremlin's agenda, already includes several members from the realm of music and sports. This presence of musicians and athletes within the Duma reflects a trend of leveraging popular figures to maintain support and promote the government's initiatives. In the exalted halls of opera and classical music, an unexpected player has come to the forefront in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Valery Gergiev, Vladimir Putin's most favored conductor, has found himself in the heart of the crossfire between the music industry, global politics, and his own career trajectory. His overseas contracts evaporated at the start of the invasion as a result of his unwavering admiration for the Russian president, sparking a debate over the interplay between culture and politics. The proponents of Gergiev argue that his critics are cancelling Russian culture en masse, Even Putin himself has lamented, as he declared on Russian state television, the names of Tchaikovsky, Shostakovich and Rachmaninoff are being removed from playbills. Russian writers and their books are being banned. In his narrative, Gergiev becomes a victim of what has been branded as Russophobic hysteria. Yet this viewpoint conveniently overlooks that Gergiev's career, filled with performances in Putin's war zones and TV commercials backing Putin's re-election, stands as a clear testament to the merger of culture and politics. The conductor's behavior and the fact that he holds a prominent position within the Russian cultural sphere paint a stark picture of how deeply entrenched politics is in Russian music. No exploration of the Russian music scene under Putin would be complete without acknowledging those principled artists and musicians that have chosen to speak out against the war and the Putin regime. These artists, known for their diverse genres and significant influence, have used their platforms to denounce the conflict and the policies of the Kremlin. Russian artists, including prominent figures such as Noise MC, Oxymiron and Morgenstern, have emerged as vocal critics of the war. Through music, social media and public statements, they have bravely expressed their dissent with Russia's military actions, often at great personal risk. Many artists who have spoken out against the war have faced severe consequences. Threatened with arrests and imprisonment under new laws restricting free speech, some musicians, like Little Big's Ilya Prusikin and Sergei Kavro of Parks, Squares and Alleys, have chosen self-imposed exile in order to freely voice their opposition. The current climate in Russia echoes shades of the Soviet era, as artists viewed as inconvenient face marginalization and repression. The vibrant music scene of the 2010s, which fostered an alternative community within Russia and gained international recognition, now finds itself in a precarious state. The creative class, known for its vocal opposition to Putin's regime, must regroup in the face of mounting challenges. Russian bands and musicians have emerged as a powerful voice of dissent against the war and President Putin's regime. Despite facing backlash, exile and economic challenges, these artists have chosen to use their platforms to denounce the conflict and advocate for peace. As they navigate through uncertain times, their resilience and commitment to speaking out serve as a testament to the power of music as a tool for change and unity in the face of adversity. The international stage, music as a tool of soft power and diplomacy. As Russian music reaches an international audience, it carries with it the narratives spun by both pro-Kremlin artists and those standing in opposition. How these narratives are received can reflect and influence international attitudes toward Russia's political situation and the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The global community has not been silent on this matter. The popularity of artists such as Tima T in countries like Luxembourg, Poland and Romania showcases the reach of Russian music. However, it's crucial to remember that each catchy beat may carry an underlying political message, one that can potentially distort the reality of the situation on the ground, particularly in relation to the war in Ukraine. The West, recognizing the potent combination of music and politics, has not shied away from leveraging its own cultural influences. Akin to Russia's use of artists like Tima T, Western countries have called upon their musicians and artists to counteract the narratives emerging from Russia and support Ukraine. Such cultural diplomacy acts as a counterbalance, promoting values of freedom, democracy and human rights. In the face of continuous change and uncertainty, music remains a consistent backdrop to our lives. It not only reflects our realities, but also shapes them in profound ways. In Russia, as we've seen, it's an arena where power, politics, and patriotism intersect. But as we look to the future, what can we expect? Unfortunately, in the current political climate, the trajectory appears to be veering towards increased state control of the music industry. The Kremlin has not been subtle in its use of artists like Sharman and Tima T to disseminate pro-Putin and pro-state narratives. However, the ubiquity of the internet and digital media has made it increasingly difficult for states to maintain absolute control over the narrative. Artists and activists around the world are finding creative ways to use music to speak out against oppression, push for change, and support causes they believe in. In this environment, the role of the international community becomes even more crucial. As consumers of Russian music, global listeners have a unique opportunity to amplify silenced voices and push back against narratives that attempt to legitimize or normalize political oppression and conflict. That brings us to the end of our journey into the complex relationship between music, politics, and power in Russia. It's clear that music is more than just a cultural phenomenon. It's a vehicle for political messaging, a tool of power, and a platform for resistance. As we wrap up our examination of the nexus between music and politics in Russia, a few crucial points stand out. Music, when leveraged by the state, can be a powerful tool for shaping public sentiment. As we've seen, pro-Kremlin artists such as Timati and Sharman, among others, have been used by the Russian state to cultivate a sense of national pride, disseminate propaganda, and even delegitimize dissent. This power is amplified in times of conflict, as we've seen with the recent Russian invasion of Ukraine, where music has become a weapon of warfare used to justify aggression and fuel nationalistic fervor. The story of music and politics in Russia is not over. It will continue to evolve and shape the country's socio-political landscape. We will be here, watching and analysing, and we hope you'll join us in these discussions. That wraps up our report, dear viewers. Now let's bring the conversation to you. In your opinion, what can be done to support artists who are pushing back against political oppression? Can we, as international listeners, do anything to support the cause of free speech and artistic freedom in Russia? Share your thoughts, insights, and suggestions in the comments section below. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Red Watch TV. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below, and we look forward to seeing you next time.